Hey, what's up everybody? Welcome to Car Question. We are here in Texas today to try the newborn of the Kia family, the Seltos. You're gonna say, wow, another crossover, another sport utility vehicle. Yes, it's up now to 6 models that you can choose in the Kia lineup. Yep, that's a lot of vehicle. So this one is a little bit smaller than the Sportage, a little bit bigger than the Soul if you want to consider that a utility vehicle though. But as you can see, it got some traits of the Telluride. But let's look at the exterior. First of all, the front end is real aggressive. There's nothing like that on the market. When you look at the competitor, they're way softer than this one. So it's a famous tiger grille that Kia loves to call it. And you can see also that they've joined the light with some shiny accent, which is looking real sharp though. When you look at it, it's looking like a luxury but aggressive vehicle. And you will also see that skid plate up front, but be careful, this is plastic. So when you saw those nice off-road model at the Los Angeles Auto Show, those nice concept, we won't be able to do some real hard off-road with that vehicle though. But the city is sometimes an urban jungle. I love the LED lights. I love also the blinkers that you see on that vehicle, how they connected it together to make something real unique. Look at the lines on the hood. And by the way, this is a US model that we are trying right now for our Canadian friends. There's going to be some difference between the equipment. If you want to go on adventure, you've got those roof rail, you've got that color which is really unique by the way, and you can see the addition of dark on top. On the side, once again, aggressive line. And how about that ground clearance? This one's a little bit higher than the competition or even the Sportage, and we're not going to talk about the Soul though here. You've got those nice alloy wheels, whatever option package that you're going to choose. You've got those little red center cap, which add a little addition of sportiness. Well, that's what they said though. But when you get to the rear of that vehicle, once again, similar to the front end, the LED lights, the blinker, quite unique. Look at how they attach all the design. So when you've got a great designer for your brands, you can see that it's going to bring you some real unique products that are going to be head turners. So we have the 1.6 turbo. Look at that exhaust system. That same fake skid plate in the rear, so make sure that the only thing that you're going to be hitting is snow. But still, incredible design, a real head turner. Just by the look of it, this one will have success. When you step inside the Kia Seltos, it's all about space, and this is one of the most spacious of this segment, but it's also one which is going to match technology and that you can really see it's well conceived. First of all, the screen in the center, you know, you're big fans of Apple CarPlay, Android Auto, well, you got all that. Depending on the model that you're going to choose, it's either an 8-inch screen or 10.25 screen. This is the one that we have right now in our vehicle. You can customize it. It's tactile, it's real easy to use, and I really love the 3D also of the GPS system, the navigation. Everything is easy to use, and that's a big plus. And if you're going to use Android Auto or Apple CarPlay, I love that definition also in the screen. The center console, the material, well, you've got some hard plastic right there, you've got some leather. They don't look cheap, even if it's hard plastic, so they make great care of that, and everything seems real solid and real sturdy. And right there in the center, you've got your climate control, and you have an auto feature, not one, not two, 3 different settings that's usually reserved to luxury vehicle. If you go with the more equipped model, you will even have a digital gauge cluster inside, which is going to change its color, its display, depending on the drive mode that you choose. And often in that kind of vehicle, I'm not really comfortable. The seats are too short for the base. Sometimes it's too restraining right there on the side. And how about the headrest? But in the Kia Seltos, it's amazing the comfort that I have, even with my long legs, the support. And how about that seat, which is real comfortable? Even the headrest got this little curve that I really like. So For all the lovers of technology, you even got the UVO application where you can remote start the car and see some different feature on it. You will have the mood lights. You know, in the Kia Soul, they started with that car to put those little lights that can adapt to the techno music that you have inside. Pretty useless to me, but if you like the different color or just to relax to a certain color, well, you can go for it. It's probably for the geek or the hipster though. I like also the wireless charger, which has a real neat location right here under. Everything is well conceived. The stitches right there on the steering wheel are looking great. Seems pretty solid inside. Once you get to the rear, how about space? Once again, see, this is my regular driving position. As soon as I take place behind, I've got ample space, even if my seat is right there in that setting. So pretty amazing with such headspace, with such space for your legs, and also you can recline the seat if you want. How about the trunk? Once again, huge space for your luggage, your storage. And how about the stuff when you're gonna bring your friend on a trip or an adventure? All right, let's talk about the engine and the road handling of that new Seltos. First of all, what's really unique for that segment is that you have two engine choice. You've got the 2.0 liter, which is going to be good for 146 horsepower, 132 pound-feet of torque, and it's going to be mated to a CVT. Oh, sorry, Kia wants to call it an IVT, an intelligent variable transmission, which is going to simulate 8 speeds. So it's not a bad mix. It's going to be perfect for you if you love to do some city driving and don't need performance. But for those enthusiasts out there, 1.6 liter turbo, 175 horsepower, 195 pound-feet of torque, which is going to be mated to a 7-speed DCT, a dual clutch. And you're going to say to me, Matt, how about all-wheel drive? Well, you can have it with both engines. So this is real interesting, once again, for that class of vehicle to offer so much, but the Koreans love to do that. So with all-wheel drive optional, it's a Dynamax system. You will have a lock feature that you can use, so it's gonna send all the power to the front and to the rears. Otherwise, it will adapt depending on the condition out there. But there's no off-road driving mode like you're gonna find in the Telluride. Let's talk about acceleration. If you go with the 2.0, well, it's gonna be okay for city driving, but if you like to drive with more enthusiasm, well, you're gonna go for the 1.6. So acceleration are okay for this kind of vehicle. It's sporty, but make sure that you switch into sports mode the vehicle. It's gonna shift a little bit more quicker, but sometimes if you hold it at a really high rev, you're gonna feel that it's kind of out of steam, but you feel that torque power once you're gonna leave from a standstill or when you're gonna pass a car on the highway. Suspension is kind of really firm. And even if this one is based on the same platform as the Kona, it's a little bit larger, a little bit longer. They made some tweak to it and you can feel it even more in the suspension. So if you have a road where there is a lot of potholes, just like Quebec City and Montreal, this one is gonna be a beating, that's for sure. If you go with the bigger wheels, the bigger tires, geez, you're gonna have to be careful though. That's gonna be a decision that you're gonna have to make. Direction feelings, feel precise, brake feeling, reactive, firm, just the way I like it. When it's gonna come to all-wheel drive though, this is not a vehicle made to go in deep off-road territory. When you look at the skid plate, plastic, nah. Still, the lock feature is gonna be interesting to use it when there's gonna be some wet grass or some heavy snow out there. Fuel consumption, 2.0 liter, front-wheel drive 8.2, 7.1, all-wheel drive 8.8, 7.6, and the model that we are testing with the 1.6 liter engine is going to be 9.4 and 8.7. So you got to be careful. It's not because it's a small vehicle that fuel efficiency will be optimal. It's going to depend on how you're going to be driving the vehicle. Use the drive mode if you want. That's going to help you, but it's not one of the best performer when it comes to gas consumption. We had a lot of questions about this vehicle. Let's start with Danielle and Fern P420. They asked me what is the ground clearance on that vehicle, and it looks like it will get hung on a curb. Well, if you compare the specs, the Seltos is going to be 7.2 inches of ground clearance. That's not really high, that's not really low. But versus the Kona is 6.7 and the Sportage is 6.8. And remember, it's not made to go into real deep off-road territory. It's only urban off-road. Kman09GJC, geez guys, I love your names. When you lock the center diff, can it be driven at any speed? Looking at it to replace your wife Crosstrek, the turbo and the tranny, I think you love that. Well, it's a real major contender to the Crosstrek when you look at that. If you saw the previous video that we did with the Kia's all-wheel drive system, they really seem to perform well, but 60 kilometers maximum with that lock feature. It locks front to rear, but not side by side, so you gotta be careful. If you're gonna do a diagonal test, well, that's gonna have to be seen later this year, guy, because we're gonna test it. Lucas Harris say that it seems to be a great car. It might be the big rival to the Mazda CX-3. Yeah, the Mazda CX-3, but also the CX-30. Those are both great vehicles, but you have the choice of engine in the Seltos, giving an advantage. The lock mode also, it's even bigger when you look at the space inside this vehicle. It's just huge compared to the CX-3 or the CX-30. It's going to be a decision that you're going to have to make and try those and tell me what you think about them. Philippe Mayville from Quebec asked me, is it the best one when it comes to fuel consumption versus the Sportage, and can you tow with it, and the price? Well, price, we're going to talk about that a little bit later though. Towing not recommended in Canada. Even if Australian guys got some numbers, we cannot do it. They don't recommend it, and believe me, you don't want to tow with those kind of vehicle. Maybe a real small ATV, but otherwise it's not recommended, so you got to be careful. And how about the fuel consumption? Well, it's going to be similar when it's going to come to real fuel consumption. Robert Pylan asked me, hybrid version soon? No, not in the plan, sorry. Ludovic, my French cousin, wanted to compare it to the Skoda. When you look at the style, when you look at the specification, yeah, pretty similar though. But I don't know. You tell me, guys, what you think about that. Hamid said, well, it's going to be a lemon. Jeez, you didn't even try it. And the reliability of Kia is going up, and they want a lot of price. When you look at the vehicle, they're aging well. Probably in the past they had their issue, but you got to give them time on that one. And Johnny told us, once again, another SUV, another multi-segment. Well, people want that. They're going to get it. Martin asked me, how about the Soul now that we have this one? The Soul is a flagship of Kia. It's still going to remain. It's one of the best sellers even in Canada and even more in Quebec. People love that car, so it's there to stay. So I hope it gives you great answer to all your questions, guys. So get ready for the next vehicle. Let's talk about price of that new Kia Seltos. A little bit more than $24,000 for the base, but it's going to come front-wheel drive, but still you've got some great equipment. The Koreans are always aggressive when it comes to price and what you get for it. But if you want to go with all-wheel drive, you're going to spend $27,500, which is a great bargain still for a car equipped like this one. And if you want to go for the fully equipped model, it's going to be less than $35,000. So this is a great bargain for a 1.6 turbo engine, that transmission, all-wheel drive, more performance, and also look at that design, really unique. Once again, Korean, real aggressive for that vehicle. The competition must be looking at this one and saying, wow, that could be a great deal though for consumer. So what do you think about that? Feel free to comment in the section down there below. Tell me what you think of this Seltos. Do you find its style attractive? Do you like how much choice you have when it comes to option and also the space inside? Otherwise, do a thumbs up, subscribe to Car Question, and I'll see you another time.